he said he thinks that habit change and identity is something that really leads to success. It comes down to what we do day to day, and if we do something tomorrow different than we did today. So yeah, for us, I mean, this is literally the be it. Mm-hmm. This is being it till you see it.
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Be It Till You See interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the influential convo I had with Jordan Dunin in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to that episode, you can listen to it now and then come back and listen to our takeaways. You can listen to our takeaways as mere spoiler alerts for what you're going to listen to on that one. It's kind of fun. I know people listen to all the podcasts at least once. Some of them have gone back through the whole library again, which is kind of insane because this is episode 359. Holy fucking moly. Today is April 25th. It is Love Your Thighs Day. About the Love Your Thighs Day.
Love it.
Love Your Thighs. Woo. Love Your Thighs is celebrated on the fourth Thursday of April every year. And this year it falls on April 25th. Women all over the world have a love-hate relationship with their bodies. They are constantly encouraged to love their bodies in a society where beauty standards have been predefined and sometimes unreachable. Love Your Thighs Day seeks to mitigate this and tell all women around the world that no matter what your bodies look like, they should love them because it's theirs to cherish.
Yep.
And one of my favorite clothing lines that I like to wear has a shirt that says "fuck a thigh gap," and another one that says like "thick thighs save lives," and I just love them. I think what I get frustrated with is that we had a couple years where the media was not talking about toning and slimming and burning belly fat, and we're back to that bullshit. And it's so annoying to try to be an educator in a world where the media wants this stuff. And guess why they want this stuff? Because it sells magazines. So please stop fucking buying that shit if you want it to stop. We have to, as a collective, say, I don't want an article on how to slim my thighs. I want an article on how to love my thighs. I don't want an article on how to tone my arms in 5 minutes. I actually want an article on like how to strengthen my arms so that I can be older in this world and have a great time in menopause. We are a huge amount of people that can demand what we want. So we need to, this is my call to action, demand it from these publications because I'm pissed off about it. And I'm sure my publicist is like, you have to stop telling us like, there's no such thing as that. That can never happen. And here's what you can do. Okay.
Nice.
Anyways, I'm just on a pedestal over here, just a little pissed off.
Yeah, upcoming events and travel.
So tomorrow, literally tomorrow, we are going to be at POT, that's Pilates on Tour, Balanced Bodies Pilates on Tour Phoenix, April 26th to the 28th. Come see us in person. We have a booth. The May is just literally around the corner. And so the May Accelerator, you can go to prfit.biz/accelerator. That is our 2-hour workshop that Brad leads. Woo. That will help you grow your studio. So if you are an instructor or studio owner that works for yourself, this workshop is for you. And It's not just where you get thrown up on an information that you'll then go back to work and never integrate.
No, it's an actual workshop. We're going to work on your stuff together in the workshop. It's going to be good. It's going to be for people who are new to teaching or people who've had a studio for 20 years and they're just kind of feeling like, okay, I've got my clients, but the needle's not moving. Mm-hmm. This workshop is also for you too. Yeah.
And then also happening in May is another early bird for Cambodia because our October trip is so sold out. It's so sold out. So you have to actually sign up for the February opportunity. And those on the wait list are going to get the early bird. If you're not on the wait list, you're just going to hear about Cambodia. But when you actually can sign up for it, it'll be full price. And the last one almost sold out on early bird. So just saying,
right,
you want to think about that. So go to lesleylogan.co/retreats to get on that wait list. And finally, upcoming is our June OPC summer camp. Oh my gosh, it is, okay, I think it's 8 events each day. We have OPC teachers and guest teachers who are all OPC members. And we have workshops and workouts. I'm leading a workout and a workshop, and other people are leading either workshops or workouts. We've got something for everybody. Hypermobile, strength building, reformer workouts, tower workouts, mat workouts, soccer, runners. Like we've got something for everybody. So you want to go to opc.me/events, opc.me/events to get on the wait list, because if you're an OPC member, you get the best early bird. You will just get an email for that. And if you're not an OPC member and you're on the wait list, you'll get the second best early bird. But if you're not an OPC member and you're not on the wait list, you get the third best early bird, which is not the same as the first best or second best. So get on the wait list, opc.me/events.
opc.me/events.
Okay,
all right.
We have an audience question before we get into Jordan's episode.
We do. From YouTube, Sophia asked, should you wear grip socks to Pilates? Are they necessary?
Yeah. So I loved this question so much that we actually did a whole live on it for our YouTube channel, because it's really appropriate for our subscribers over there. So if you are a YouTube subscriber, first of all, thanks so much for the OPC subscriber. You can subscribe to this podcast, and we thank you for that too, especially if you want to see what's happening behind this microphone.
Yeah, this podcast has its own YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
But on the All Online Pilates Classes YouTube channel, I actually answered this in a lot of detail, but so here's a quick dirty. Do you need to wear grip socks? Not unless it's a studio mandatory thing. So if you're at your own home, you don't need to. Your bare feet unless you have sweaty feet, are going to be great and super solid and not very slippery. That being said, if you have super sweaty feet or you're going into a public studio, grip socks are really great. And a lot of studios require them. I required them because people's toenail polish was like rubbing off on my equipment, but a lot of people require them because of germs.
Sure.
Just like, like you're stepping on the dirty floor that people just walk past to go to the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like, just the grip socks are really great. They also do ensure that your feet are sticky on the equipment. Most importantly, don't wear regular socks. If the socks don't have grip on them or the grip has gotten old, time for new socks. And we have ads on the show every single week about toe socks and Tavi socks. I am an ambassador for them. And so if you just go to toesocks.com or Tavi Active, you can actually use my code Lesley, Lesley, to get a discount on anything. And that includes their Voria bags, by the way. So like, go get some sticky socks. And they're really great. Some people use them in yoga.
Bags too.
They have really cool bags. Really, really cool bags. So anyway, Sophia, I love this question. I went into more detail on the YouTube channel. So we'll make sure that link is there if you want to actually see me talk about the socks and explain more details about how the socks can actually help you. Over there. For you guys who have questions, there's no question that's off limits. We will answer it. It's a great way for us to get to know you, for us to support you, for us to help with what you got going on. So ask a question. Can be Pilates, can be business, can be life, can be, somebody asked the other day what shorts I was wearing. And I was like,
they did.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, let me see what shorts I was wearing. So, we're here to help.
Reach out, reach out. Lots of ways to do that. Okay, now let's talk about Jordan Dunin. Jordan Dunin's life took a dramatic turn following a serious accident in 2016, leading to a traumatic brain injury and a battle with chronic Lyme disease. Today, as the founder of HatchPatch and a passionate life coach, Jordan uses his journey of recovery and discovery to empower others, emphasizing his roles as a father and half marathoner in his mission to foster wellness, human connections, and support others in their own health challenges. Pretty dramatic story.
Oh my God. First of all,
wow.
I can't believe he didn't die.
Yeah. So
multiple times.
If y'all have not listened to the episode, he banged his head. And it was like, I don't know. It sounds like it was a pretty intense bang on the head, but somehow the hospital released him.
Yeah.
And he literally was working in finance. He went back to work and was like, I can't see my computer screen.
Yeah. No, massive
He dropped out of college.
Yeah. Just life-changing. And there were some reasons, like part of it was like he didn't want to admit how hurt he was.
Right, sure.
And, doctors can't help what they can't see. So anyways, it was just a lot. But he has turned that around and then taken like what he saw as a problem. It's like, hey, it's really hard to figure out who to hire, like where these coaches are, like all this stuff. And he created Hatch, which is really awesome. But before we get into that, one thing I like that he said is like, we are the only constant of all of our problems. That's what one of his coaches said. And so in 2020, he was the leading factor to his illness. And so he said, whatever your problem is, you are there, or you are part of it in a way.
Yeah. Whatever your problem is, you are there. You're in the middle of it. Yeah. I think it's really easy to do this. I mean, this is effectively the stories that we tell ourselves. And we talk about this so many times on the pod of like, okay, this is what I'm telling myself, So I'm believing in this thing, and
well, we put the problem outside of ourselves. Like, we don't have control of it. Like, oh, my injury caused X, Y, and Z.
well, yeah, there's that too. But I mean, even the story of like, oh, well, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's what he was telling himself.
Yeah. True.
Which is why he wasn't taking action.
Yeah. And so I think like,
It's almost like denial.
Well, a lot of us do this all the time, and it doesn't have to be on such a grand scale that he experienced it. But like, anytime you are saying, oh, because like, we coach teachers and we're like, well, my clients won't reschedule their own sessions. Okay. Well, you're part of that problem.
That's right.
You are. And I get they're 70. Guess what?
You know what my coach said to me, which was tough?
What?
I said, I've got this developer who like just isn't delivering his work on time. And my coach said to me, well, how does that help you? Why are you allowing that to happen? And I was like, what? It doesn't fucking help me, and I'm not allowing it to happen. He's like, well, you are allowed to happen. He still works for you. What are you talking about? I was like, oh, how is it helping me? Why am I not addressing this problem? It must be easier for me to not address the problem than it is to have the results of what I wanted from this guy, right? And I was like, that was tough for me to kind of wrap my head around. It's tough for me to swallow. Same thing though. That's like wherever your problem is, you are there.
Yeah. And I think like to go back to my story, because I know we have business teachers listening to us. I get that your 70-plus-year-old clients don't want to learn technology. I'm going to tell you right now, their fucking microwave is more complicated than your scheduling tool. Like their dishwasher, like they have things in their life that they have figured out because they had to or they wanted to. And if they choose not to, and you want to like, okay, I still want them as a client, you can say, the only way I can reschedule or schedule you is in person. That's it. I'll do it, but it has to be during your session time. It's going to cut into your session time, and I'm not going to do it outside of your session time. Yeah. So guess what? They will figure it out the moment they need to change it.
They sure fucking will.
They will.
It's annoying.
I'm telling you, they will. And if your scheduling tool is complicated, get a new one. Get one that's not. Get one that is pretty simple, because it should be easy for the user. And you complaining about they won't do it and it's multiple days, you're allowing this problem to happen.
Yep. Jordan said the way he looks at coaching is that it's a path, right? And because it's really interesting. We haven't talked about HatchPatch yet, but effectively he was out there trying to find help for himself. And he said there was no real database of vetted coaches, and coaches isn't necessarily life coaching. It could have been exercise or mindset, or
you're just Googling whoever's better SEO, which means they could have paid to play. Like
it doesn't make them the top qualified thing, and there was no real trusted resource. And he said today what HatchPatch is basically a platform where they interview different coaches across 5 different topics. Like I can't actually remember them, but it's like fitness, spirituality, mindset, stuff like that. And they have these conversations with these coaches before they allow the coach to list themselves on the platform. And he said when he interviews them, and he's looking for a coach with empathy, right? That's like a really, really big sticking point for him. And he said the best coaches coach on something that they've already overcome themselves. Yeah. Right? So that's why today he coaches people on Lyme disease, because he overcame Lyme disease. And he said there are coaches who coach on anxiety, weight loss, weight gain. There's no one size fits all for health.
That's so true.
Which is why he has all sorts of different coaches on the platform, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, I love that he took this problem, then created a solution. And not only is it allowing him to potentially help more people for what he specialized in, it's actually allowing people, all these coaches can be in one place and they're vetted. And then also all these people can go, and it makes me so excited, because what if the Lyme person like recovers from that, but then wants coaching in something else? They don't have to like start fresh and find something new. They can actually go throughout what has been created for them to help them all succeed. I just think it's great. I think everyone wins on this.
Yeah, I feel like our insurance system tried to do this with doctors, and like having doctors' profiles, and there's websites and all this stuff on that, and that's like the beginning of this idea, because a coach doesn't have to be a doctor, right? So they have more than 200 coaches on there now. And he said that they're spread out across like 19 different niches. And that includes things like you can read up on the coach ahead of time. You can understand their credentials, what they specialize in. Also, there's reviews. And then, you can actually find different coaches for different things even. So yeah, clever, really interesting. I like the idea of it. And I also agree with you. I love that it kind of rolled out of his own need and his own, the things that he was able to.
And I think like you've probably heard this a million times, is called like your mess is your message. And like, the obstacle is the way. And the reality is like, I love having these people on who share like, whoa, what the hell happened to you? And now look what path it's put you on. And so I love this called HatchPatch because anyways, the link will be in the show notes for you to actually go check it out if you are a coach who wants to be on it or you're wanting to find a coach.
Yeah. All right. So finally, let's talk about those beit action items. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with Jordan Dunin? Okay. Jordan said, what the things that we do daily become us. That was like kind of like a rude awakening. It's like, oh shit.
You are what you eat and what you do.
True. Because the concept of a cure is so fickle. The only way we change is when we change. Right? He said it took 20 years to get sick. It took his body 20 years to get sick. And he's like, taking this pill for 2 weeks isn't going to fix that. It's a process to do the reverse of whatever it was that took you to the place you're in now. That's like, literally with anything, any change you want to make, it took you time to get to that point, and it's going to take you time to shift away from that. So
be kind to yourself.
Yeah, and I think you're right. Being kind to yourself is really understanding that it's a journey, it's a path. I mean, he talked about coaching as a path. He said that the biggest thing that was helpful for him was when he began to change his identity, right? He was associating himself as someone who is sick. And so because he's sick, I can't do this thing, right? Or it became this limiting factor. And he shifted into a different identity where, hey, okay, I am sick, but that doesn't define me. That's not who I am. Like, I happen to be sick, but I am still Jordan. He said he thinks that habit change and identity is something that really leads to success. It comes down to what we do day to day. And if we do something tomorrow different than we did today. So yeah, for us, I mean, this is literally the be it. This is being it till you see it.
I know.
This is taking what bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted steps can you take. Making these small changes on a daily basis will help you move to a different spot, mentally or physically or any of those things.
Yeah. Well, the next step is to envision a goal. And then he wants you to envision you have everything that you want.
Woo!
In that, like, everything you want is there. Envision it. And then this is the most important part. How does it feel?
How does it feel?
And then he wants you to feel that right now and then go after it. Because the feeling, sometimes we like,
I just got chills.
I know. So remember way back to episode 3.
Oh, geez.
Our dear friend, episode 3, whose name is escaping me, but he's so handsome and he's so nice, and we've had him on not the podcast many times.
Alex.
But Alex was 5 or 7. This is the episode 3.
Episode 3. Rob Mack. Yeah.
Rob Mack talked about how like you don't get to see the whole staircase. You can only see the first step. And what I love about feeling into a goal is it really does help you make the next step, because you can go off of like, okay, let's just say you want to like be a biohacker. How does a biohacker feel? And it's like, okay, biohackers like take a cold shower, and like, okay, feel in, like, okay, they take cold showers. Like, how does that feel? And then you would take a cold shower, and if it doesn't feel like that, maybe you need to do a cold plunge, or maybe you need to do a cold room, or maybe you need to just like do the feet only. And that's just like a really made up thing. But like feeling into that goal, having it now makes it easier for you to judge. Should you say yes or no to something? Because you might not be able to see the full staircase yet, but you can feel something. You can feel the energy from the other person that's going to participate. And if it doesn't feel like the energy you had when you envision your goal, it makes it that the vision doesn't have to be perfect but your feeling is something that you can go off of your gut instinct more. I love that. That's the way I took it.
I think also, he was talking about the 500 square foot apartment in New York where you're laying marble floors. At the end of the day, it's still a 500 square foot apartment. You know? And he said, what if there were no limitations around that? Like, imagine when you're envisioning your goal, think bigger. And then how does that feel? I feel like we don't feel, these goals. We just write it on a wall and we're like, yeah, I want to, make money like this, or I want this car, or this thing or whatever. But then we don't actually imagine what it's going to be like, when you are there. And that is like, I think, you talk about habits, you talk about changing habits, associating, like the habit has to feel good or you won't continue to do it. Your body just won't allow you to do it. Your brain won't want to do it. So you won't make it a habit. So if you can feel that vision, and it's positive for you, what is it going to do? It's going to make you want to go there, to get that, to be it.
So
feel it.
Feel it to be it. I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Thank you for being one of our listeners. It really means a lot to me. Thank you for writing reviews and sending your favorite takeaways. I love how you get them to me. You get them to me in some random places and it's a fun like Easter egg hunt. And I just adore you all so very much. Thanks for being with us for 359 episodes. What? So how are you going to use these tips in your life? We want to know. Tag Jordan Dunin. Tell him. Tag the Be It Pod so we can share it. And until next time, be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day. Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network. If you want to leave us a message or a question that we might read on another episode, you can text us at +1 310 905 5534 or send a DM on Instagram at BeItPod.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is transcribed, produced, and edited by the Epic team at Diseño.co.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all of our content to our website. And finally, to Meredith Root for keeping us all on point and on time.